Hi there, welcome back to Pixelated Lens. I'm Lindsay, and I just finished, just as in this very morning, finished the Excavation of Hob Barrow. And I kind of want to talk about it. I'm attempting to match the aesthetics of the game and hide my too short bangs. I got a little scissor happy. So yeah, that's the hat, and I'm sipping on, what is it? Henry Hotspur's hard pressed cider. I don't usually drink, but the game has driven me to such, so cheers. Yeah, I wanted to talk about Hob's Barrow in less of a review way and more as a kind of, I don't know if it would be considered like a retrospective or kind of just a summary of things that I enjoyed and appreciated with the game and some that I didn't. So yeah, if you haven't played Hob's Barrow, I would recommend playing it before watching this video, as it will contain some spoilers, surely. But yeah, I have my notes, so I am going to get started. This game is a fascinating blend of folklore and history with just a touch of horror. It has a narrative that is compelling and haunting all the same. And overall, I really did enjoy this game. I am a huge fan of point-and-click adventure games, so that's primarily what this channel is composed of, or what I'm hoping to mostly talk about on this channel. But I will stop rambling and now get to the game. Our story begins in the small, remote village of Barrow, located somewhere in rural England. This place is as much a character in the game as any of its inhabitants. Nestled within the moors, Barrow is shrouded with mystery and ancient whispers. It's the perfect backdrop for a tale that's steeped in history and folklore. The moors themselves serve as a liminal space, a place that's neither here nor there. It's a setting where reality and folklore blur, creating a sense of isolation and intrigue that's central to the game's atmosphere. At the heart of our story is Thomasina Bateman, who is voice acted by the amazing Samantha Bart. Thomasina is an antiquarian, who I wrongfully called an archaeologist in all my playthroughs. I also know that the main character is an archaeologist, so I'm also excited about that fact. Fun fact, Thomasina is based on a real-life antiquary, Thomas Bateman, who was the son of an amateur archaeologist, William Bateman. Although I think Thomasina might be a little more ethical than those two were.
Oh, aye. You're a grave robber.
I am no such thing.
Thomasina's determination and curiosity are what propel her forward, but it's her personal connection to her father's legacy that adds depth to her character. It's not just that she's an explorer. She's a daughter seeking answers, a scholar craving discovery.
I enjoy nothing more than the thrill of discovery, uncovering the past and piecing together our history. I inherited this passion from my father.
Oh, a barrow digger too, were he?
Indeed. He would take me with him on excavations as a child.
Does he still come with you now, on your own adventures?
I'm afraid my father's been bedbound by illness for many years.
Oh, I am sorry to hear that.
The moors are more than just a backdrop. They're a gateway to a world of folklore and legend. The moors represent a liminal space where the boundaries between the real and the mythical world blur.
The moors extend as far as the mortal eye can see. Beautiful, is it not?
Indeed, the moors are beautiful.
The beauty of God's creation is that it takes so many forms. How can one take in such a view and not have faith? Some look at these moors and think this a godless land. But I tell you, he is found in all domains. The Lord's work is all about us. Tell me, Miss Bateman, do you believe in God?
I was brought up Anglican. The church was an important part of my early life, Father Roach. But what happened to my father eventually made me question things.
If you don't mind me asking, my child, what happened to your father?
He had an accident when I was very young.
Throughout the game, we get a mention of the fair folk, beings of legends that inhabit the Twilight world, and goblins, creatures that add an element of danger and the unknown. These elements draw from ancient myths and folklore, adding layers of depth and intrigue to the narrative. The villagers of Beulah are a fascinating bunch, each with their own motives, secrets, and stories. As Thomasina, we must navigate these interactions carefully. Who can we trust? What are their personal motivations? The game keeps us guessing, often blurring the lines between good and evil, friend and foe. I've played this game a few times now, and I still don't really know which villagers are allies and which are adversaries. Do we ever truly know?
What brings you to Beulah?
I beg your pardon?
What brings you to Beulah, miss?
I'm here to visit a local landmark, Hob's Barrow.
Hob's Barrow? Well, I can't say I've heard of it. For what reason?
I wish to excavate it.
Grave robber, are you?
Not at all. I merely have an interest in antiquities.
Not much to be found in Beulah, if you ask me. You're better off waiting for the next train back to the city.
I'll take my chances.
Can't say I didn't warn you.
I guess the ambiguity adds to the game's tension, making every decision feel significant, even though I don't think they really are.
Enough. So, give us a kiss now, won't you?
How dare you?
Wench!
What a buffoon.
Dialogue in the Excavation of Hob's Barrow is more than just a means of communication. It's a tool for uncovering the truth, and it moves the story forward. But do our choices in the dialogue actually matter? In many ways, the game suggests that our choices do have impact. Yet often, the outcome is of little, if any, consequence. Let me know if this is the case for you, but choosing different dialogue options didn't lead to different revelations or resolutions in my playthroughs. And maybe that would be okay if we weren't already playing as a fully formed character. I don't know, I've seen other games where this works a little bit better, like Kentucky Route Zero, for instance, but for some reason it just kind of bothered me a little bit in Hob's Barrow. There's a lot of foreshadowing in Hob's Barrow, and one of the reoccurring sort of images was that of Shakespearean tragedies.
Let's talk of graves, of worms, and epitaphs. Make dust our paper, and with rainy eyes write sorrow on the bosom of the earth. Let's choose executors and talk of wills.
Shakespeare?
Quite. Which play?
Richard II?
Correct. You are well read, Miss Bateman. Studying the work of the bard is one of my favorite pastimes. Follow me.
But what does this foreshadowing tell us about the story? Well, a Shakespearean tragedy is defined by its exploration of human flaws and inevitable downfall. Thomasina's journey mirrors this, as her father's obsession with the past becomes her own fatal flaw. Her relentless pursuit of knowledge leads her to confrontations that ultimately shape her identity. One of the most striking aspects of the game is its use of color to tell the story. Thomasina's vibrant, colorful memories stand in stark contrast with the dreary, muted tones of her present reality. Magenta is a reoccurring color in the game, particularly whenever Thomasina is in the in-between, be it in dreams or within the Barrow. The scenes shift to a monochrome magenta, symbolizing a connection to the mystical and the unknown. At first glance, the game might seem to be a simple tale of good versus evil, but digging a little deeper, I found that it wasn't that straightforward. Is Abraxas truly evil? He likes cats and flowers, so he sounds alright to me. In many ways, I felt that the lines between good and evil are blurred, and this invites us to look beyond surface-level judgments. And I feel like this is just a little ambiguous. Are we meant to assume Abraxas and those who follow his colorful ways are inherently evil? Did I miss something? The ending of the Excavation of Hob Barrow is undeniably tragic. But as much as I rooted for Thomasina, her fate just felt inevitable.
In this dismal room, day after day, year after year, imprisoned and committed with seemingly little hope of redemption. It feels like an age has passed since that fateful night at Ticehurst House, but finally, you have my full account. I thought I knew my father. As I look back on my childhood memories, I can only conclude that it was his wish to protect me from the true nature of his endeavors. But why didn't you tell me the truth? Especially after what happened to him at Hob's Barrow. Why did you allow me to grow up idolizing a man who didn't exist? I did not kill father. It was he that guided my hand. I was in thrall to that most malevolent force, Abraxas. I beg you to understand. He has had his revenge, but I know he will return. Where is he now? What more is he capable of? I only wanted to save my father. Oh, Mother, what have I done? Forgive me.
It was a culmination of her choices and the weight of her legacy. And yet, I believe this tragic ending is what makes the story so powerful. It leaves us with a sense of melancholy and reflection.
The Excavation of Hob Barrow is more than just a game. It's an exploration of history, myth, and the human spirit. It's a journey that stays with you long after you've left the moors behind. Whether it's the evocative art, rich folklore, or the haunting atmosphere, it's a game that leaves an indelible mark. If you're new to adventure games or a veteran, I would definitely recommend playing the Excavation of Hob Barrow. I think that it's great for people who are maybe newer to games like this or who have in the past not really enjoyed games like this. So, like, if you are not a fan of the old school point and click adventure style, I think that you might really come to love this sort of game. It's very narrative driven and There seems to be very little consequence. It tells the story that it set out to tell. You, as far as I know, can't die. The game autosaves for you in places that are important. You can't really get yourself stuck, at least I don't think you can. And there are even elements that add kind of a quality of life to the game, such as the fast travel. I'm not sure if I love the fast travel myself, just because I kind of like wandering aimlessly around and clicking on absolutely everything. But hey, that's just me. Something that's also interesting about the game is that the mechanics, while you can click on various things, it'll highlight for you the things that you can and cannot interact with, which is good. So if you don't usually like the monotony of just kind of like wandering around in a point and click, and if you like sort of visual novels and games of, I don't know if I would call this a cozy game per se, but it does have cozy elements. The art style is amazing. The story is wonderful. I really love that it, again, tells the story that it set out to tell. It took me a while to process the ending, which, like, I really did love the ending. I mean, I would have liked to have seen Thomasina kind of succeed in her journey, or at least not get jailed, or kill the person that she loves the most. That was depressing. But at the same time, this game is a tragedy, and it had a lot of foreshadowing that sort of led up to that. So there are many times in the game where you just kind of see things foreshadowed, and you see things before the character you're playing does herself, which is very, I don't know, I thought it was a very clever way to tell a story. And albeit not a happy ending, I mean, much of folklore isn't. So I think that it really stayed true to the style that it was focusing on, and hey, I gotta appreciate that. I know that some people had definitely hoped for a happier ending, but let me know what you think. Did you like the ending how it was? Were you hoping for a happier one? Do you think that Thomasina is going to get a second chance? I mean, I really, really loved that character having a strong female lead during that time period. It was really cool. And of course, I love the voice actor, Samantha Bart. I think they are incredible, and they definitely added charm and character to this game. But yeah, let me know what you think, and stay tuned for more adventure game reviews, retrospectives. I don't really know what to call this, to be honest, but I guess kind of sort of just my thoughts. But yeah, thanks for watching.